Gee, the weirdest thing just happened. I was in here and like everyone was like, hey, congratulations. We're really glad you're back, and you signed up for another 5 years. We're excited about it. And then Gary goes, hey, you should go on Facebook. There's a whole bunch of people who don't like that you re-signed. They're really negative about it. And I go, what? What do you mean? He goes, well, I thought it'd be funny if you just read a bunch of negative things about how no one's happy that you signed up again for Sirius. I'm like, Gary, why would I want to read that?
You want to hear what they're saying?
Yeah, Bob, bad news.
You used to love to read the hate mail. I thought you would find it funny. Everyone's
right
happy
now.
It's
maybe tomorrow I'll read the hate mail.
Okay.
Why would somebody not be happy that I re-signed, even if they hate me, so they don't have to listen?
Excuse me, Howard. Can I take a moment to ruin your joy?
Sure, go ahead, Gary Puppet.
Okay, there's some really shitty news for you. It's like the blisters on my knees.
I have a theory that Gary hates me. That,
you're wrong.
No, I do. Let's get into it. Because,
we should.
I think that was a very passive-aggressive thing. I'm sitting here getting congratulated by everyone, feeling positive that I've re-signed for another 5 years, maybe even on a little shaky ground, like maybe it wasn't the right decision. I'm sitting here kind of lamenting.
Yeah, there was a vibe, sort of, and boy, did Gary change it.
And then Gary, like Will was congratulating me and Jason, and everyone was like talking about, hey, it's really exciting, and we're going to have another 5 years together. And Gary goes, you should see Facebook. There's so many negative comments about you staying. And it's like, he must
not everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Can I be very honest with you?
Psychologically speaking, can I be straight with you? Psychologically speaking, let me ask you something. Let's say, what was the happiest moment in your life, Gary? Like when your kids were born? Kids being born. So what if like they walk in the room and, everyone's like, Gary, this is wonderful. You're going to be a wonderful dad. We're excited about the kid. This is a joyous moment. And I walk in and I go, yeah, that's what you say now. But wait till those kids become teenagers. They're going to fuck with your head. You're going to hate it. Well, why would I say that unless I hated you?
Okay, so can I give my side of it? I don't hate you. This all comes from a conversation we had this all comes from a conversation we had a couple of weeks ago off the air, which is don't hold anything back from me. Whether let me decide what's funny and what's not. And we used to read hate mail and used to love to read people.
I do love reading hate mail.
I know.
But I'm just saying, in that moment of congratulations, it's like,
in my mind,
I want to congratulate you, but everyone hates you.
But in my mind, I felt like you found out about this tomorrow and you go, Gary, I would have loved to have done that on the air. Why are you holding that back?
All right, so what are people saying about me re-signing, the people who hate me? If you want to fucking piss all over me.
He doesn't want to say now.
I don't want to say now.
It's time to do a rain of diarrhea on your parade.
My happiness is a fragile bubble. It's like, I'm not even sure that, who knows if I made the right decision. For me, I mean, personally. There isn't a day I wake up where I go, fuck. I don't know. I don't know if I should continue on. So the happiness is a fragile bubble that will exist for about another hour or two, and then it'll wear off, and then all of my doubt and pain will come back. I think I want to retire. I think there's time for me to I don't think the ink is dry yet on that contract. I think I can get out of it. Gary
maybe you can snatch it off of Jennifer Witt's desk.
Yeah, no, Gary just popped my fragile bubble. It's okay, Gary. It's all right.
No, I really do want to say this. I want to make a small statement. I really do want to say this. I really thought I was serving the show. I do not hate you. And anybody who, after the show, privately tells you that this was a passive-aggressive thing I was trying to do was fucking a liar and just a mean person, because it's not what
Who's doing that? Are there people who come to you after the show and talk to you about Gary?
Yeah. No.
We all talk about each other after the show.
Well, Gary, I'm going to rely on you for the next 5 years to remind me that some people do not like me. And if that will be your assignment. So thank you for that. And Gary,
your joy is not universal.
Yeah. Let me just say something. I know everybody right now is congratulating you and feeling good about you. But I just want to say, there's a lot of people on Facebook who do not like you and are very upset. How did he put it exactly, Rob? He said,
I said there are some people on Facebook that I go, hey,
there's some people, not everybody's happy.
Yeah. By the way, not everyone's happy. And I go, all of a sudden, my head starts spinning. I go, Gary, what do you mean some people aren't happy? What do you mean by that? They're not happy. I mean, you mean they're angry that I'm going to continue with certain, like, am I fouling their lives so badly by being here that, so now it's in my head.
Time to burst the bubble.
Yeah.
I was only trying to provide the content.
I understand content. Thank you for the content. I don't have enough.
You know, they do say content is king.
That's right.
That's right, Paul. You said you want to know.
Did you not say to me, don't hold anything back?
You're both talking.
Did you not say that? Howard, did you not say to me, did you not say to me, I want to know everything. I'll decide what's funny. Don't hold stuff back from me.
No, I thought I told you, when you think of something to say, run it by Jeremy and then tell me.
No, that's not the conversation we had at all.
I thought there was a process. It's okay.
Really?
Yep. That's
well,
what I thought.
Apologize. I certainly.
No, I mean, for 5 minutes, let me have the joy of, like, everyone pretending to be happy that I resigned.
There's a little term, Howard. It's called read the room.
Right. But thank you for keeping me grounded. I do.
By the way, I wasn't the only one involved in this process. Just so you know.
By the way,
I'm laying on the grenade for other people.
I was almost thinking that maybe this was a good decision. I've made the world happy. I started to feel good about it. Just for 5 minutes, I felt good. But it's okay. I'll get over it. It's all right.
You weren't used to the feeling anyway, right?
Yeah. You know what? I so rarely feel good that Gary's right. You know, punch me in the face when I feel good.
No,
it's perfect. It's a perfect.
Howard, Howard, please.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't hate you. I don't.
You
hate
do,
you.
but you don't realize it.
No, why would I hate you? Why?
Because here's the psychology of it. It might be hard for you to see me getting my new deal. Now you're going to say to me, that's crazy because that means I get to continue to work. It's good for me. It's good. No, but when some people get a lot of attention, it's hard as human beings to really stay out of it. And on some level you go, let me just give the guy a little right in the stomach. That's it.
I mean, I don't know why. It's really so not that. I don't want you.
Well, you wouldn't be conscious of it. You're unconscious. Man. That's all.
Now you're blaming.
Okay.
So I did something to you that I'm unaware of.
Yes, of course. You're not consciously aware of it. You should get a hold of it, though. How
would I do that?
Therapy. Years and years of changing therapy. But you got to make the commitment. But think about it. Why choose that moment to bring me down? Not everyone's happy, boss. Nope. A lot of people.
But you see, I thought you liked feeling like shit. My bad.
Oh dear.
Well, I'm completely bummed out. I mean, and sorry.
No more bummed out than me.
I guess I should hold some things back then.
Yeah, maybe. Just
by the way, don't look at Reddit.
Both, you suck. Don't get all full of yourself.
Yep. Twitter is a disaster.
Just hold your horses being so happy, Boff. It's time for you to get a little reality check. But, Gary is right. I've always said to him, don't hold anything back. It's true. I have said that. He's right.
Yeah, but there's also a time and a place.
Right. Listen.
You got to consider it all.
I do know, Robin, that there are people who do not enjoy what I do for a living. For many years when I got on the radio, I literally could not believe that there were people who didn't listen to this show. I thought this show was so great that everyone would listen. And by the way, we had always had high ratings. We always had high ratings. And that meant that, I told you at one point, 1 out of every 4 cars on the Long Island Expressway were listening to us.
That's
but
amazing.
Amazing. And most people would rejoice in that. But being the negative person I am, I'd say, how is it the other 3 cars aren't listening to us? Our radio is so far superior to anybody's product. I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that some people just don't like me. You know, and I couldn't believe it. And so Gary is right. Even in this happiness with our fans, there are people who are not going to be happy they can't be happy for anyone else. And Gary is right. I should take stock of that. And I am right now. It's all I'm upset with.
Why? Why should you take stock of it?
You know, some people are going to now remember this day as the day Howard resigned. Others will remember it as the day Gary, the happiness sniper, took away my happiness. From he just, right?
He didn't land your plane. He crashed it. You were up there in the ether.
We were playing the commercials. You were sitting there. I was sitting there. As Gary said, Howard, you should see this. Not everyone's happy about you resigning. You should see that. At what point did it dawn on you that maybe Gary shouldn't say that? Like, did you know right away? Was there
It was immediate because everybody was happy and there was a good time and it created absolute silence. When he finished that sentence, nobody spoke.
Right. It's as if Gary flew a plane into my heart, like Osama bin Bowie, you know, like boom. and then all I could think about was, oh God, some people.
And everybody, then when people did start to speak, they were trying to bolster your spirits because you had already crashed. So immediately it was like, but this is great and that's great, but it was too late. The plane had already crashed into your heart.
Should I have Gary read the people who aren't happy now? I mean,
would you like to know what couldn't wait?
Oh, God.
While you celebrated a bit?
I really don't want to hear the negativity right now, but.
Well, I did, I was like, Gary, maybe for another day, right. It was just like, come on, stop. I don't want you to hear it. But I was like, Gary now he's already obsessed with it.
Did I not thank Gary enough during the top of the show when I was?
I thought you were gracious and everything you said was true.
Yeah.
And you love Gary.
Well, I did up until 5 minutes ago. Yeah. Yesterday was Pearl Harbor Day, and this feels, to me, personally, like...
This is your
personal Pearl Harbor. This day will live in infamy. All right, give it to me, Gary. Let me hear what people are saying.
I don't want to.
Why?
I don't want to. I'm so bummed right now. I truly believe, I know this for a fact.
I understand.
I know you like to you do shtick based on what's really in your head. Right. And the idea that you believe that I hate you is maybe the saddest thing that's ever happened between us.
Because you don't want to be the Baba bearer of bad news?
No.
Wait a second. I don't mean to interrupt you. I just got to adjust my chair. There's a knife in my back, so I got it. It's hard to get it out. Oh God. Okay, it's out. Yeah. What were you saying? It was hard to think.
I just said that the fact that I believe that you believe that I hate you is the saddest thing that's ever gone on between us.
I don't think you consciously hate me, but you resent me.
I don't resent.
And
Howard, I live in this fucking great house. I have a great life. I have great kids. Everything in my life is because of you.
You're not consciously aware of it.
You?
It's not supposed to make sense, Gary.
I hate that. You do that to a lot of other people too. And I do really, that's one of the things I hate that you do, that that they don't know that things about themselves.
See a therapist.
I don't love that. Right. I have seen a therapist, and you know what? I'm very happy right now.
My psychiatrist was to tell me within 3 seconds that Gary is not in touch with his emotions right now. That as happy as he thinks he is, he's also having an emotional response where he's like, kind of like, fucking Howard, he gets everything.
But I didn't have that emotion.
Rather than thinking of it as something evil about you, Gary, or something hateful, it's just a human thing. Everybody has to deal with these emotions. Sometimes you just hear yourself saying something in your head and you're like, I can't believe I could have a terrible thought like that.
Yeah, just
a lot of people just listen to those thoughts and they act on them.
Here's the crazy thing. I'm happy and you guys want me to go to therapy.
No, here's what Robin's saying. If I may speak really for Robin for a second, because she just made a good point. And I'll put it like this. Did you see me happy for a few minutes about the announcement?
Sure.
Did you immediately ruin it?
I did. I did not know I was going to ruin it.
Okay.
But I didn't.
How do you not know that? How would somebody, how about if the song went, happy birthday to you. You're closer to dying. It would be a terrible song. It never would have been a hit that it was happy birthday to you.
Howard, how many times over the years have you said, bring me the hate mail? Put up the negative calls.
But I'm just saying in that moment, maybe, everyone said, hey, you signed up another 5 years. Let's go. Hey, Howard, you should see who hates you. It's crazy.
But see, my thought was,
I understand.
Put those assholes up. Let's fuck with them.
Gary, you can do whatever you want. I'm fine. I'm going to be strong for both of us. It's like when the doctor walked in. Here I was born. And my parents, my father certainly wasn't all that psyched up. And the doctor walks in and goes, what's the first thing he says? Boy, your son smiles like a mongoloid.
So, what is that to say?
Yeah. What would you say about that doctor?
Walk into a family room where they're happy about having their new baby.
Maybe he could have waited a day before he compared me to a mongoloid. Before he pissed all over me and my parents' happiness. I mean, you were on Facebook within seconds looking for negative comments.
So I just want you to know the process. I, of course, was not on Facebook. I was not looking for this. So this is important. One of our writers came up with all of these, ran it through our head writer who said to run it by Gary. So I wasn't looking for negative stuff about you. Just so you know.
No, you need to run it by somebody. Is my point. Keep going up the ladder is what I'm saying. That's all. Till you get to somebody who says, maybe listen, you did fine. I can take it. I know not everybody loves me. I just thought maybe in that moment we should all celebrate as opposed to looking to the negativity, but it's fine. We're good. Forget it. Just forget it.
But Howard, I was not searching the internet looking for negativity.
I understand that. Thank you.
No, but it's important that I wasn't.
I do understand. I understand what you're saying.
Because if I were doing that, then I might think I hate you.
Right.
But I wasn't.
Right. Yes, Gary Puppet.
Excuse me, Jim Meyer, can I piss on Howard's parade today? Would that be a good idea?
Okay.
By the way, do not look at Beth's Instagram.
Oh, God.
Right. Got it.
She has a cat throwing up on your picture.
Hey, Ralph. Anything negative you want to say in this happy moment?
Yeah, I was on Twitter, and there's a bunch of people are saying, like, what the fuck is... Listen.
By the way, let me just say something. The new contract I just signed is not off to a good start, but things are gonna get better. I know it.
Well, listen. First of all, I don't think Gary hates you. I think he doesn't think sometimes and can't read the room. I mean, this was definitely
anxious.
Not the right time to bring.
Yes. One thing I'll say about Gary, whenever there's something, he likes to get it right off his, he doesn't like to shelve things. He likes to get them right out there. He doesn't like to wait.
That's right.
I would say that anxious is a better phrase than hate.
Right.
I didn't want to miss it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, he's my eager beaver. Okay.
Yes.
And he's
can't wait to tell you that people don't like you.
Yeah. He was at Rush. One of the things I always said to Gary, Gary, you don't have to blurt everything out. You can wait and, kind of evaluate it and then put it on the table. The negative comments is, they're not going to go away. Paul, I know you're happy right now. I know you made your big announcement, but Howard Stern is a cunt is trending on Twitter right now.
But you like hate mail.
You said
no,
you
not
like it.
today.
Yeah, like maybe not in this moment.
Take a breath. Wait till hour 3.
I just got kicked in the head. That's all right. I don't care. Say what you want. I'm happy.
Can I reset a little bit and just say,
it's
first
impossible
and foremost,
now. I mean, I told Gary to do
let me
a Post-it note. I said, do a Post-it note on your computer. It says, slow down. He thought I was joking.
Yes,
Slow down.
yes. Did he forget to do that at home now that he's working from home?
No. At home, he threw out the Post-it note. I made him do it. See, at work, I could monitor him. Here, with this Zoom thing, I can't monitor where his Post-it note
Can't see whether he put up his note or not.
I'm taking this Post-it note that says, slow down. I'm throwing it in the garbage. It's all right. Not a big deal. All I'll be thinking about for the rest of the day.
I like it went through the ranks. Depended on Gary.
Made its way up to Gary. Good to see.
Keep going.
There's more ranks to go through. Couple I could think of.
The buck stopped is what happened. It didn't keep going.
Buck stops here. Boff, you know that happiness you were experiencing for a few moments? Let me bring that to a screeching halt. And then Gary threw everyone on the bus. Gary, why'd you say, wasn't me? It was Will. It was Jason. It was JD.
Hold on.
All of them
Stop sweating.
The riding team.
Wait a second.
Hold on, give me the name.
They all
wait a minute, Wolf. The whole back office was in on this.
Some people were in on it.
No.
It wasn't my idea. Hold on, this wasn't my idea.
It was your idea to bring it to me.
But it wasn't my idea. It was other people who had the idea.
So what? Wait a second. Who made the decision to tell me? You or the other
I did,
people?
yeah. I did.
All right, so there it is.
As long as that didn't come out, it was still just an idea, Gary, that was under consideration.
An idea that I thought Howard might find funny.
You made a bad move, so take responsibility.
And I made a bad move. I take responsibility. I made a bad move.
Yeah,
and you always say,
the writing staff. I told the writing staff to bring everything to you, and then you make the right decision.
And then you told me to bring a lot of things to you.
And you made a bad decision in the moment.
Agreed.
I think. You don't think you did. I think you did.
No,
listen, they can't all be perfect.
I see it's a bad decision now, but again, it's not a malicious decision. That's the part that's bumming me out.
Right.
It really is. I don't have malice towards you. I don't secretly hate you. I don't subliminally hate you. I'm not going to go to shrink for 2 years.
You blamed Will. You blamed the writers. You blamed Jason. You blamed
I didn't
Wolfie,
blame them. First of all, Jason has nothing to do with it.
You said they all brought it to you, which is their job to bring it to you.
I said a writer came up with it, brought it to our head writer who brought it to me. That's just 2 people. Jason's name isn't in there anywhere.
All right.
So what
happened down?
A few names fell out, Howard. A few names.
Yeah, a few names fell out. But
I didn't even bring up Wolfie.
Your job is to make the decision.
We wouldn't know Wolfie if you didn't say it.
Wolfie. Shuli.
Give him 5 more minutes. You'll know it all.
Gary's spinning out on our little. Gary's spinning out on our little I am where we talk to each other. Now he's yelling at me why would you put that note he's spinning out.
I didn't say why would you deflect. Jason said Jason put up a note that said Gary talks and never listens to anyone, and I wrote back you're such a great fucking listener.
We're fighting with each other. Just calm down.
I'm in the foxhole. Listen, I'm in the foxhole.
Let me explain how it works around here. Writers are maniacs. I want them to be maniacs. It's your job to not be a maniac and filter them. You dig? So, in other words, to blame them for doing their job is ridiculous.
I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying I didn't originate it. There's a difference.
But why even mention that?
Howard.
Because if you think I originated it, then your idea that I hate you would be more valid, because that means I would have gone on the internet specifically looking for people who hate you, which I didn't.
I see. Okay.
Howard, Gary knows how the system works, and he jumped the system. And that's what happened this morning, and that's how it got you. So you absolutely did, dude. You know.
Aren't you glad we're going to be together for 5 more years?
Jason, what are you saying? I think Gary jumped the system. I am saying
if Gary had mentioned this to me before it got to you, it would not have gotten to you at that moment. That is what I am saying. I'm saying if he mentioned to other people before it got to you, it would not have gotten to you at that moment. We have a system in place where we discuss these things before we put them in front of you. All things, good things, bad things, audio to listen to, things to read. He knows.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I don't know.
That's another issue.
The system is broken.
The system is broken.
Oh, the system is broken.
The system is,
I don't know the system.
Run it by Jason.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, that's the system.
It's not the system.
Yeah. Okay, well,
I know there's things that you talk to Howard about.
Do you want to talk this out now or later? But it's the
no, but I know there's things
you and
that you
I
talk to
work
Howard
in lockstep. We're both executive producers. We both talk to each other before putting something in front of Howard's face. I would have brought it to you and said, Gary, what do you think about this? Is this the right moment to tell Howard what a shithead some people think he is?
No, I didn't say shithead.
Well,
okay.
No. I mean, but that's just
somebody else would.
Yeah, somebody else thinks I'm a shithead. All right, look.
Wow, this is going to be a great 5 years.
You know, it was great. We were all talking about what a wonderful team and how good it is to keep everybody together.
It's a horrible team.
Does anybody have a timer? How long
should have never called me out on Yammer on us.
Can everyone please edit out the part where I made the announcement when they do the replay where I say how great my staff is? Can you just cut that part out?
Fuck.
Oh. Well, you know what? It did bring me down in reality. Gary's right.
Sorry.
A lot of people do not. You don't have to be sorry. Gary is right. In the final analysis,
not a lot
who
of
am I to
people.
think that I'm so important? And who am I to think that people are rejoicing that I resigned? He's right. There are more people who are upset I resigned probably than happy.
Now stop it.
He's going to.
You know what? I'm gonna turn this around, Gary. I don't want you feeling bad about this. I want to thank you for knocking me down a few pegs this morning. I'm telling you, a lot of people in show business get carried away with themselves. They sign a big contract. They they think they're important. I am now realizing how unimportant I am. And you're right, that not everything about me is good.
You were acting like one of those people who just won an Academy Award.
I was.
For God's sake.
I know. I got carried away. You know what? If I ever should win an Academy Award, which would be a great honor, and I'm there, I want you to come up to me if you're at the after party and say to me, you know what? I saw your movie and you're a piece of shit. Not everyone thinks you deserve that Academy Award.
Can't believe you won for that.
Most critics hated the movie.
I don't know if you read this review.
All those analogies, hold on. All those analogies would work if we didn't put everything we do out on the air. Of course, it would be an asshole move to walk up to Tom Hanks after he won an Academy Award and say that. But you want to put everything out on the air. I made a bad decision, but it's not an insane decision.
Gary. You made a good decision. Let's turn this around. I'm complimenting you, and I'm hoping you get a big fat raise, because I'll tell you why. I don't want to win the Academy Award and let everyone think that I'm so great. I want you to be in charge. When I win that Academy Award, to come up with me and say, you know, Howard, 98% of the reviews were good, but I want to show you the reviews that weren't so good about your movie, because you're getting too full of yourself. And that's what I want to say. You know,
Howard,
I'll tell you this.
Not everybody voted for you.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. When I was a little boy, I used to say to my father, I want to go into radio. And he'd go, you're a moron. No way. You can't even speak. And he did me a favor, because he told me what an idiot I was, and I only pushed harder. And Gary has pushed me harder. I'm going to try and win over those people who aren't excited about me resigning. You know, all my life, I was told I wasn't good enough. And thank you, Gary, for reminding me of that. I really do want to thank you, because I'm going to work harder now to win over those people who are not excited about me. In fact, do me a favor, Gary. I don't want you calling me Howard anymore. I want you to address me as shithead from now on, so that I stay humble and remain.
Oh, my God.
Should I call you shithead or Mr. Shithead?
Yeah. You know, I remember one of the greatest men in history was a man named Martin Luther King. I think you've all heard of him. And he went up on stage in front of millions of people and said, I have a dream. And if Gary had been there, he would have said, yes, you do have a dream, but some people think your dream sucks. In a way, Gary would have kept Martin Luther King on his toes.
That's right.
And Gary is keeping me on my toes today, and I want to thank him for that.
Well, they do say, Howard, that, the president suffers because he doesn't have somebody who will straighten him out.
That's right. I have plenty.
Good point, Robin.
In fact, I'm offering Gary to President Trump to straighten him out. Not everybody thinks you won that election.
Nope.
Not a big deal.
Unlike you, Trump would throw him out, though.
No, I love Gary. Gary is my rock. Gary keeps me humble, and I thank him for that. A lot of people would take offense, not me. How dare you laugh, Ralph? Gary, I can't thank you enough. Thank you for this today.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Can I tell you something? Like my mouth is all dry. My lips are getting chapped. I feel like I got into a car accident. I'm upset. I really am upset, Howard. I feel so badly. I don't know what to say except sorry.
No, you taught me the greatest lesson of my life. I started to feel good about myself for 5 minutes, and that's not going to work. No one should feel good about themselves. I've always said that.
One of these days when Gary's interviewed, he will say, my boss worked hard because he never felt good about what he did. And I made sure of it.
I got it. Hold on, everybody. I got it. I apologize. I took 2 tramadol this morning, and I'm not myself. And that is true.
What you said to me, don't blame the tramadol because it's your brilliance. I was maybe thinking I'm so good I don't have to keep my head in the game, that maybe I could coast for the next 5 years. Not real. You're saying, Boff, don't rest on your laurels. Not everyone is happy about you resigning. Right.
There's still people you need to convince.
Right. In fact, do me a favor. I know you love lists. I need you to write me the top 10 angriest Facebook comments you can find and then email them to me so that I can read that list and publicize.
Or just the top 10 reasons why people hate you.
Right.
Like,
any of that would be useful to keep me motivated and in the game.
I get carried away.
I got carried away for a minute. I'm glad you can laugh about it now, Gary. It is funny.
I'm not laughing. I'm mocking Ralph.
He's laughing at you now.
I don't know.
I'm laughing at Ralph. I'm mocking Ralph's laugh at me.
Well, let's see what Ralph had to say, Gary. Maybe he wants to say. Do you want to say something, Ralph?
It's difficult after a bomb goes off. All right, let me try. Let me try here. Like, Gary just really made it difficult. All right.
Well, this was like being in the room after Gary lit the bomb.
Right.
There was silence. Nobody knew what to say.
Can you bring back? Yeah. Robin and I were staring at each other over Zoom.
I was like, what just happened?
Ralph, can you bring the show back to that moment of happiness? Maybe you want to comment on the new contract.
All right. I'll say this. I've been listening to the show since NBC, since the beginning.
Right.
And first and foremost, I'm a huge fan of the show. And the show has changed. It's been great. And I can't imagine a world without your voice. I mean, it's so important.
Thank you.
And it's like it's changed in the best possible way. The show's never been better, I think, now. It's weird. Like, you go into quarantine, and it's better. I think maybe you're happier. And as your friend, I hope you realize this is the only decision you could have made. I mean, you would miss it in a way that I think you don't even realize. And,
people have said that to me. People have said, you don't realize how you would miss being on the air. And I got to tell you, after today's show, who could miss it?
After Ralph's, beautiful statement, I was going to say, Gary, would you like to add anything?
Want to bring me down a few?
Yeah,
there's a lot of people who don't like the way the show has changed.
No, thank you, Rob.
Nothing for Howard, but Robin, I'm holding back on you.
But Howard, seriously, I hope you can enjoy this and enjoy the success and. Yeah,
I was having a pretty good day. I wasn't considering all the people who would be angry.
I could say some things, but now it would sound hollow. There's nobody that's done.
You don't have to say it, Gary.
No, but listen.
You've done what.
There's nobody. Nobody that's done what you've done.
Not necessary. I'm embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed.
But Gary, all those things that you're saying psychologically, they could all be true that you appreciate and Howard's responsible for everything, but you could still have resentment because he is responsible for everything in your life, That's
right.
So
think of it as a shadow self, Gary, the dark side. So
then Howard, would that, if that's what you believe, do you believe that about everybody on the staff?
No, because some people are good at managing it. We all have that. I'm jealous of other people.
So you're saying that you do believe everyone on the staff has the resentment?
Of course they do. They're human.
Managing it.
There are people today, when I make this announcement, who are going to have a hard time with it, but they can manage it. They manage themselves. That's the only difference.
But it's also that, like I said, there's a shadow self. We have the yin and the yang. Right. You know, the presentation is, you know, thank God, mostly yang or yin, whichever one's good with you, Gary. But every once in a while, that little thing comes out.
Listen,
and you just, it got past your gate. That's all.
No. You know.
I really think I was anxious and in a rush to bring Howard material that I thought he might want.
Thank you. And I appreciate that. And it turns out, you know, John Lennon getting shot on this day was not the worst thing to happen. It was this show.
December 8th, the day that'll live in infamy.
Right. Well, anyway, thank you for the nice comments, Ralph, and I'll try not to get too big ahead, and I'm sure Gary will keep me in check. Thank you for that.
I have a quick important announcement.
All right.
Bryan Cranston has a new show on Showtime. It's excellent. It's called Your Honor, and don't let anybody tell you what it's about. Just watch it. Don't watch a trailer. Just try to know nothing about it.
But I'm reading here on Facebook, a lot of people aren't happy about it.
Yeah, a lot of people are still saying
it was a shitty show.
He'll never do anything better than Breaking Bad.
That's right. Nope. There's a lot of negative comments.
Might be better.
All right. Thank you, Ralph. All right. Jill, who is a psychologist, wants to comment. And then I do want to say a few words about John Lennon. I have things I want to say. But yes, Jill.
Hi, Howard. I would just like to comment that I think that you're spot on. I think that Gary has some impulse control issues, which lead him to say things really quickly without thinking about them. But oftentimes when we say things just off the top of our head, it's because we are, have some deep-seated resentments or thoughts that we're harboring, and then we just blurt them out without filtering them first.
Right. That's exactly right. Thank you very much, Jill. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes you got to really do some self-examination.